Gruesome Magazine.
Hello. Once again, I am your host, Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-host, Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Christopher G. Mohr, and myself will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we are reviewing Run, Rabbit, Run, streaming now on Netflix. Oh, boy. Mm-hmm. Let me introduce the crew, starting off with Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
Wretched. Simply wretched.
Absolutely, sir. That's what I was thinking. Also joining us this week is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl. How you doing?
I'm great. Yeah. Don't have a rabbit, but yeah, okay. Whatever. I'm over it. I'm just going to say hi. That's it. Hi. I'm great.
Also joining us is the filmmaker Christopher G. Mohr.
What up? What's up, Doc?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Doing well.
That's fun.
Oh my goodness. All right, what we are going to do, we are going to review this movie. We're going to start off giving our first impressions. Those first impressions will be spoiler free. Then we'll get into discussion. We will get into spoilers. There are a number in this one, so watch it on Netflix so you know what we're talking about. And then we'll wrap things up with our score, 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. Before we get into things, we just want to do a shout out to all the Grue-Crew. I do personally, to all the Grue-Crew and the group believers who have been following us for 10 years. We are celebrating 10 years of podcasting with H&R Gruesome Magazine and Decades of Horror. We started back in April of 2013 with reviewing Evil Dead, and we started our 10-year anniversary show with reviewing Evil Dead Rise. So that is kind of the awesomest thing ever. And we'll be celebrating all year long, ending in February 2024 with our inaugural Grue-Crews heading out of Orlando, Florida, or Port Canaveral, to be specific. 3 nights of horror and fun in the sun. I don't know why it's 3 nights of horror and fun in the sun, but 3 days, 3 nights. It's all going to make sense. Go to gruesomemagazine.com/Grue-Crews and find out more and find out how you can join us. That would be awesome. All right. Did I do the whole... I hope you enjoy this thing. All right. Let's look at the card and let's get moving along.
You're really here, Doc.
I am not here at all. Run, Rabbit, Run, 2023, Netflix, available in theaters nationwide. No, that is not true at all. It's playing on Netflix, streaming on Netflix now, starting June 28th, 2023. Synopsis: Sarah Snook plays a fertility doctor who believes firmly in life and death. But after noticing strange behavior of her young daughter, she must challenge her own values and confront a ghost from her past. It's always troublesome when they have to put the actor in the synopsis. All right. The director is Daina Reid. The writer is Hannah Kent. Cast is Sarah Snook, Lily LaTorre, Neil Melville, Katherine Slattery, and Damon Herriman. All right, let's find out what our first impressions may be. Crystal Cleveland, you are up first.
Okay. So, I think the acting in this film is phenomenal, like truly phenomenal. Is this an Australian film?
It is.
Know. Okay. So, this movie's slow. It tries to be atmospheric, but somehow it fails. And with such great acting, I feel like that's kind of hard to do. The mom is just fabulous. There's odd relationships here. I can't tell if this is just really actually supposed to be a descent into madness. And I feel like that's really what it is. And I'm just over movies like that because I really truly think that that's what this is. I don't think this is actually supposed to be taken on the surface. And I'm over an unreliable narrator.
Yep.
I'm over people who endanger their kids when they are an unreliable narrator. And I'm over Descents into Madness. It's done. It's done. It's overdone. And it's been done better. And that's unfortunately the way it is here. She did something in her youth that she regrets, and I guess has regretted forever. But for some reason, I guess probably because her daughter is of the age, I guess it's just hitting her again or something, and maybe triggered this. I'm not certain. It's a really kind of odd film, and she's irrational, and I don't understand her relationship with her mother, why it's the way that it is. Well, maybe because of who she is, but the relationship with her ex-husband is odd as well. Like, of course, he's going to tell his wife things. I just feel like it doesn't make. It makes sense. I understand what is happening, but the movie doesn't make sense. Period. Like, it's not normal. And if I was the dad, I never would leave my child with her. And she knows better. She knows she shouldn't have her child. I don't know. Just, this was a disappointment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Christopher G. Mohr, what was your first impression of
Crawl, Rabbit, Crawl.
Crawl, Rabbit, Run.
This movie is a slog, an absolute slog. It's like if you walk through molasses to get from one side of the room to another. This is what this film is, and I think I will say the only positive is the acting. I think all the acting, especially the little girl, they're all great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great.
But the story, the motivations, the story is confusing AF. It's and I don't know what they're trying to shoot for. I mean it almost feels like they saw a David Lynch film and they just wanted to be all mysterious and not really explain things. You get the gist of her, what happened in her background as it plays out, and it's kind of obvious from the get-go, to be honest. But her motivations and the things she does, and then it almost, it's like, is it in her head? Is it supernatural? But then why is her daughter acting this way? So there's all these different elements that are play into it, but they don't really lean into one way or another. And then by the end, you're kind of left. It's like, WTF? At this point, I don't care anymore. I mean, she's definitely the worst representation of a mom that I've seen in a very long time. Because she almost, it's almost the level of the Shining level. It's kind of crazy. I mean, a little bit of Jack Nicholson to some degree. It's like, whoa, why am I doing this? I don't know. And it tries to lean in a lot of tropes, but doesn't really do them well. Because it's almost like a movie that doesn't know what it's trying to do, and I think it's okay to sometimes lean into kind of stuff. And I'm like Crystal, I'm kind of over unreliable narrators, unreliable nurturers at that. Because then we seem to be running into that. This seems to be very popular in horror movies right now, having like these moms or parents that are kind of like, and I think if you've seen the new Insidious movie, they kind of play into that, but it's the father side. So but yeah, this movie made me very mad. And then after hearing a lot of people online saying, do not watch this movie, don't waste your time with it, I'm kind of in their realm. I'm kind of in their realm because I really was like, I could have done without watching this film.
Yeah.
Because it annoyed me so much, all the different motivations and character choices and story choices and a lot of stuff that they just throw all these different things out there, but don't really connect it in a way to where you can have any kind of consolation as to what did I watch. and why did this happen, and what is happening, and why are the other characters not doing anything?
Right.
So anyway, I wanted to run far away from this film after I watched it.
Jeff Mohr, what is your? I agree. Jeff Mohr, what was your first impression of Run Rabbit Run?
So I'm totally with my other crewmates.
Crewmates, I like that.
I was thinking this while I was watching it, that I am getting really tired of the unreliable narrator thing. And I know it's not always, but this seems like one that, and it seems like one that is predominantly about women, and very often has a female writer and or director, and that I think they must be trying to get some point across about the state of being a woman or something. That I get the thing where, like, people don't listen to you and stuff like that, but this one, the narrator is so unreliable that I really have no idea what really happened. Is there a ghost, or is she loony AF? I mean, stuff happens and it didn't happen. Stuff, it's just, so I don't know. I don't know. Acting, great. I thought there was a bunch of creepy things, I think it's right on the poster, so I don't think it's too bad to say this, but the little girl and the homemade rabbit mask was amazingly simple yet unsettling, at least for me. And then some of the things that happen, there's things that happen in the house. She does something and then she comes back later and it's undone. And did she imagine the whole thing? Is it the ghost? So there's, and that just carries it all the way through to the end. So I don't know what she really did, what really happened, what she imagined, what she didn't do, what was a hallucination. It just was, I think there's a way it could be told that would make it a little more straightforward. I think that you could at least sort of get a handle on it, but it's like this, I don't know. It's like trying to handle a fish with your bare hands.
It's a slippery mess. Yeah, it's
a slippery mess.
Yeah.
It is. All right.
I like that.
I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's the Sarah Snook character has repressed all these horrible things that happened in her childhood, and when her daughter reaches the age of her sister, whom these horrible things happened to, now the daughter is possessed.
Wait, you're now giving so much away.
Well, I'm just trying to say that, and I'm going to a point, but and this is all in the trailer.
Okay, fair enough.
But
yeah.
So it has this a heavy lean into supernatural with this possession, this ghost. Whether or not she's herself or Alice and what's happening, but what it ends up doing is it muddies that and then fails to commit one way or the other to which side of the story it wants to tell, and it doesn't fully, you know what I mean? It kind of doesn't figure out what it really wants to do with this tale.
Well, I feel like it's like we're seeing it from her point of view, so
yeah,
she's continually fighting between, is it a ghost or am I crazy?
Right. And there are elements in it that are creepy. The mask actually is very effective. The girl is asked, the young actress is asked to do some really creepy and effective things. But in the end, it just falls apart and doesn't really achieve whatever it's trying to do. And it to me, this is just such an unsatisfying movie that it like we said, it was a disappointment. I was looking forward to this. I really like Sarah Snook. She's great on Succession. She's been in other horror movies where she's been good. But this movie is not a showcase for that.
No.
And it's, I don't know where the problem is, but there's there's some lazy storytelling going on, I think.
Well, unless it's supposed to be like an embodiment of like her mom has dementia, and so she's almost like has this kind of level of dementia.
Yes, she getting it as well.
So she's got some kind of mental illness, but at the same time, it's like I'm watching a movie for some kind of semblance of cohesion to some degree. You don't have to explain everything,
but it doesn't buy into that either. I mean,
No.
it teases it. It teases a lot of different things, but doesn't really commit to any of it. Or
Well,
not.
part of the reason why I think that maybe all this stuff actually isn't happening at all is because when she practically almost like when she sliced her daughter up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice at that moment when she became coherent, the daughter was afraid of her and seemed very normal and not at all like a possessed child.
Right.
So you have moments where the daughter seems like I just think the whole thing is in the mom's mind. I don't think the daughter is possessed at all.
No.
I think she's making all this up in her head. I don't even think maybe that the mom thought that the daughter was Alice. I think it's just
She thought the mom thought the daughter was Alice, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes it even more confusing, right?
Yeah. That's part of the reason why I dislike it more and more. You know, it's like I just feel like it's a cheap way to write a movie because here's the thing. You can write whatever you want and be like, well, is she crazy? Or is it this? Or is it this? I don't know. Why don't you tell a coherent story and then I'll figure it out? Sorry. That makes me angry, actually.
No, I'm disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what we're all kind of coming at this film in the same way. Is like it doesn't pick a lane. Right. You know, it goes all these different directions and tries to do all these different things, but it doesn't. And that's what doesn't allows it to not stick the landing. You know, and I think it's almost like in the same way that they use the phrase "run rabbit run" because when you're pregnant, they say the rabbit died, and so. But you have a human being that's being born, and so you're saying something died, and so you have that kind of that weird.
Wait, what? When you're pregnant, they say what?
The rabbit died.
I've never heard that. No.
Yeah. That was an old test.
Yeah, so it was an old test. It involved a test and stuff, and so there's like phrases. So I don't know. I'm wondering if that played into it because when the rabbit shows up and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I feel like maybe there's some kind of underlying meaning that we kind of missed that they're going for. But I think the majority of people who watched this didn't get it at all because it's such an elaborate mess of a film to where it just there's all these crazy things. It's like almost like if you leaned into the Jack Nicholson craziness in The Shining, and you just did that throughout, from the beginning.
But that made sense because everyone else around him, other than the ghosts, of course, realized he was crazy. It's what's weird is the way
I'm saying that if Shining,
there was nobody to confirm any suspicions that we had, right?
Well, yeah, and then I was getting so annoyed because and then I'm like, okay, wait a minute, she keeps. There's one part where she keeps running with that wrench or whatever after her kid. I was like,
I know it's
when
so
are you gonna
weird.
drop
it's
that?
like,
and then later on, like when she's towards the end, when she sees what's happening out the window, was her ex-husband still asleep in that bed?
I don't think he was asleep.
Was he dead?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I feel like maybe
he was face down and with a
I
pillow.
know. I saw that. And I'm like, did she kill him?
I thought he was dead when I noticed the pillow was over his head.
Yeah,
okay, I saw that. I thought maybe he was just like because the light was on, he just put. But then I was like, yeah, I feel like there's more to that. I don't know. Maybe they cut stuff out of it that maybe made the film make sense. But yeah, this I think David Lynch would watch this and like, man, what happened? This is too crazy for me. Yeah, it's a weird, odd mess, which is kind of sad because it has so many great acting performances. But I think
production value, right?
Value. But then at the same time, I feel like all the tropish. I mean, I feel like there's so many things that I feel like pulled from so many different sources. I mean, you get a little bit of like. When I think of Pet Cemetery with the kids wearing the mask. I mean, there's like all these different things that we've kind of seen before in other films that have been done much better. But yeah, I think because it never really kind of figures out what it's trying to do. it just leaves you in a very confused, frustrated mess by the end of it. It's like, what was the whole point of watching this film?
And I think it's fairly obvious that there's this tragedy in the past that's affecting her, and it's not
this tragedy. She's an awful person.
True.
She beat her sister. I don't think you could call that a tragedy for her.
You're missing my point.
She's
It's a tragedy for the other people, though. She calls it a tragedy.
It's a tragedy, but she calls it, yes. But
yeah, she's awful.
It's not a mystery that is. It's not. It's not like compelling mysteries. Like we kind of know something stupid happened. What about it? It's revealed in a kind of awkward, non-satisfying way.
And let me tell you, none of that makes sense. And none of it makes sense because up until this point, she seemed like, I guess, to some degree, a perfectly sweet, kind, and responsible mother. But what she did in her childhood to her sister, she tortured her.
Do I remember that in the kind of spoken background that she has been in and out of the hospital about this?
I don't know.
I thought she had been in a hospital, and everybody seemed to be a little nervous about, did somebody ask her about taking her medication or something?
So she does have some sort of disorder. I guess I kind of missed it. It was just all very odd to me. I was like, this.
It was brushed over really fast. But,
when you give me an unreliable narrator like this, it makes me tune out because it's annoying when you're in the middle of something and then it's like, oh, that didn't happen. And we're so scary. Shut up.
Why would you raise a family on a house that's near a
ledge?
Yeah, no joke.
That is like the highest cliff. That's like the freaking having a house near the Grand Canyon,
or a river, and just your kids just go out all the time unaccompanied.
Yeah, I'm like I'd be so nervous. I don't. Yeah. I mean, that's the least of the problems is the logistics of the house.
That crossed my mind.
It looked like a real location, but would it be an appropriate place to raise? But it was her mom's house, right? Not her house. So
her dad's.
That's right. Her dad died, they were going to the dad's house. So it wasn't really like but it was her home, her childhood home.
Right.
Obviously. Right. So there's some logistics going on. All right, let's go ahead. I think we've nailed the point here. Let's go ahead and give our score. Oh boy, 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. And Crystal, you are up first, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna give this a 1.5. And actually, I feel like I was being generous for the acting because this movie made me angry. It would be a 2.5. They'd be perfectly middle of the road if it didn't it's insulting. It's a waste of my time. And that is all. Okay, so moving on. I guess, it's funny. I know you don't know this, but we did talk about a pushing over the cliff, and this is another pushing over the cliff. I was a little shocked that she just went for it. When she did that, I mean, obviously it was the only possible thing that was going to happen, but the pushing Alice over the cliff is my favorite scene because it really did kind of make me go, loser.
You bet.
Yeah.
Christopher G. Mohr, what is your score 1 to 5 and your favorite scene?
I'll give it a 1.25. I'll give it a 0.25 for acting.
There you go.
To be nice. It was nice. This is one of those situations where I want to say the credits, but
don't do that.
I will say I'll say the scene where she when she realizes to look behind the pictures that her kid drew. Oh,
I thought that too. The black drawings and stuff on the
yeah, I
in the
kind
kitchen.
of like that.
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
she
a
kind
good
of
one.
and then she like spreads them out and stuff. I think that because the early on, I guess the teacher says that, have you seen these drawings? And then when she has that moment, like, I wonder if there's anything on the back of these drawings I have up on my fridge wall. Like, oh crap! I think if I can say something was good that I enjoyed, I think it's just a visual
fair.
of that.
That's fair. That's fair. Jeff Mohr, your score 1 to 5. Your favorite scene?
Well, I feel like apparently I'm going to shock everybody, but I'm going to say 2.5. And to me, it's one of those things where it's the whole that's not good. I like the acting, and there's a bunch of set pieces that I really like that are disturbing and creepy, and that I enjoyed, but they don't all tell a coherent story when they were put together. So 2.5. Favorite scene, I'm gonna there was a bunch of these kind of creepy ones, but I'm gonna say when Sarah Snook's character finds all these old pictures and she hangs them all on the wall up and down this hallway where you walk into the house, and then she leaves and goes somewhere, and the next time she comes back there's nothing on the wall. And so that was sort of when I don't know, I just found that creepy, whether she imagined it or whether the ghost took him down. I like that.
Or shattered him later. Yeah, I'm going to give this a 2, and that's just because, I mean, as good as the technical bits are and the acting, it's just story-wise it's disappointment. It's just, that's the worst thing. It just is a disappointment and unsatisfying. And so I will say that I did like the reveal, and I knew it was coming, but I still liked it that she was the one drawing the pictures on the back of, that she was drawing the things on the back of the pictures when she was drawing the big square on the floor, revealing that. So I thought that was interesting, because then she knew that was when she began to realize she was unraveling, that she was having a problem. So I dug that a little bit. And any time that the girl was calling herself Alice, it got kind of tense, but it wasn't long enough. It wasn't efficient enough. But hey, no, maybe no. Okay.
Yes.
All
Wait.
All right.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. What?
I need some confirmation, man.
No, I think it seemed very realistic, her response when she's like, "Call me Alice," and especially when she gets, especially when she gets mad with her grandma, liar. Yeah, I think the little kid was really wonderful, because she could sort of lean in between being cutesy to being creepy to being angry.
Yep.
So she had a lot of flexibility. I love to see more stuff for the young actress in the future.
Yeah, the director, all the faults of the film, the director did get a lot out of her, and that's hard to do, right, Christopher? Hard to get.
It especially, they always say don't work with kids or animals. So I think we're working with a young kid like that. I think they definitely got the best out of them, even though the script.
Right. Well, there you go. That's our review. That's our review of Run Rabbit Run. We're sure you watched it on Netflix. It was #1 for some reason. So
that means lots of people watch it.
Let us know what you think of it down below. Let us know what we missed. Did we totally miss something, or
no?
Are we giving it too much credit with the twos? And I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, let's get out of here. Christopher, Crystal, Jeff, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun, even though we didn't like it.
Thank you.
It's more fun talking about it than watching it.
Yeah,
I know. That's all. There's the only reason that Christopher doesn't send me hate mails, because we get to have fun here. All right. You made me watch this movie. All right, let's get out of here. Let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.